Another day, another hate train on Zack Snyder. Hi guys, what's going on? This is the Viking here again, and yeah, I have a lot to say about this Wonder Woman image that surfaced yesterday from Zack Snyder. Now, Zack Snyder was on the Faruqi Brothers stream, comic book debate. Pretty good interview, 41 minutes I think it was. Got into a lot of nitty and gritty stuff regarding Zack Snyder's work and the DC universe for Zack Snyder's Justice League, of course. But in the background, he finally showed us that image of the Crimean War. I think I'm pronouncing it right. The Crimean War that Zack Snyder shot as a placeholder for the image that they used in Batman v Superman before Patty Jenkins came along. So you know that image of Chris Pine and the team, and they're standing together with Diana in World War One. Yeah, that was the image they used in Batman v Superman, and then they took that image in Wonder Woman 1. Well, this was the original image that Zack Snyder was going to use of the Crimean War, which took place around 1854, I think. And yeah, that involved France, United Kingdom, loads of different countries. What war doesn't involve so many of these countries? But yeah, so Diana, of course, fought in this war to end this war, much like World War One. And you can see her team there, a very diverse group, which is awesome to see. Very diverse, isn't it? It's a pretty cool image, and look, it's a little bit cooler than the Chris Pine one from Batman v Superman, in my opinion. But yeah, but the big controversy around this image was, if you look closely, you can see Diana holding three heads, okay? So obviously she has beheaded these guys, whatever they are, okay? Now, people came online like, Diana is about love, she's about kindness, joy, she would not do this. I was like, bitch, please. You know, Samuel L. Jackson, motherfucker. If you look at Diana throughout comic books, throughout animation, she has beheaded so many people, and that was brought up. Many of the Snyder fans said, look at these different interpretations of the character. She has done this before. What's the big deal? And then when we pointed that out to people, people would come and say, well, no, the problem is that she's holding three heads and she's posing for a picture like a fucking psycho. Okay, what is the context of this picture? Now, that's what I'm talking about, is the context. People are judging this picture, a non-canon picture that was not even used. It was taken years ago and wasn't even in Batman v Superman, wasn't even in Wonder Woman 1. Zack Snyder took this himself, and this was one that they were originally going to use, but Patty came in, had a different vision, and that's fair enough. But people were losing their shit that Zack Snyder doesn't understand Wonder Woman. Man, I love Patty Jenkins and her Wonder Woman movies, but I would have loved to seen Zack Snyder's interpretation of a solo Wonder Woman movie. How badass that could have been, her absolutely unleashed. Now, many people saying she stands for love and joy and all that things, and she does. That's what Wonder Woman stands for. But that doesn't mean she can't be a badass. Now, many interpretations of Wonder Woman in comic books, in animation, have been different. Now, the thing I always say is that not each character has to be the same every time it's introduced. You have a different writer. You have a different artist. In this case, you have a different script writer. You have a different director, a different vision, a different interpretation. Tim Burton's version is different from Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan is different from Zack Snyder. Matt Reeves is different from Zack Snyder. What's wrong with getting these different interpretations of these characters and just going with it? If you don't like it, don't watch it, watch the other versions and get over it. It's a fictional character that doesn't cause any destruction or any pain on the overall world. It's something I just don't really get. And why would you want to go into these things wanting to hate them or not wanting to be open and seeing something new, seeing something different? You know, like, I don't understand that negativity. Like, I wasn't happy that Andrew Garfield was taken over for Tobey Maguire, but I didn't let it ruin my experience. I went in, watched the movies, and I'd rather enjoy those movies, and the same for Tom Holland. I'm not going to bash an actor or a new director just because I disagree because it's not the character or actor that I want. I'll go in with an open mind and try to enjoy it, try and take away something from it. And that's what I try and do with all comic book movies, with all movies in fact, because at the end of the day, guys, they're only a movie. But many people, a lot of them are actually Marvel fans, losing their shit. And I brought up a few points, and I'll show you now in a second on Twitter, and I got a lot of hate for it. You know, I did get a lot of hate for it, but I thought I was very right in what I was saying. And maybe you guys will disagree, or you'll agree, and you'll tell me, and you'll put me in my place as well. But this image here is a non-canon image that wasn't even used, and many people are losing their shit over it. The Nerd Queen's got the exclusive image that you see here, by Zach, and then they shared it on Twitter, which was pretty cool as well. But yeah, I love this image. And now people are saying Wonder Woman would never behead people. Wonder Woman would never behead people and then stand and pose for a picture. And I'm like, you don't know the context of this picture. You don't know what exactly was happening in this picture. What if these men were raping women or raping children or killing women, killing children? Like, what is the context of this image? They don't know. So they want to go and judge and say, that's not Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman would never do that kind of thing. But maybe she was justified. This was a war that was going on. A pretty brutal war. So maybe Wonder Woman was right to do what she did. She had a reason to behead these people. Now, I'm jumping the gun as well. I'm saying people. What if these weren't people? What if these were things like Ares? Like, you know, Ares looked very normal. He looked human, but he was actually a god. What happens if these people, these heads were beasts? These were gods of some sorts, and Diana had to kill them at all costs. You just don't know the origin of this picture. You just don't know the context around it. And that's something that people jump the gun, jump to the conclusion pretty quickly, thinking that they know a character. You know, so it's pretty messed up. And I wasn't annoyed, I wasn't triggered by it. I was just annoyed by the hypocritical stance by people where they don't give these images or these shots a chance to breathe, or these stories. They want to judge it. They want to take it for face value straight away and judge it and nitpick at every single thing. Now, if you don't like Zack Snyder's Wonder Woman, then go watch Wonder Woman 1. Go watch Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman 1 is probably more of a Zack Snyder Wonder Woman than you'll probably see from 84. But again, he introduced the character in Batman v Superman in a pretty badass way, in a way where she had to go up against Doomsday. And in Zack Snyder's Justice League, she's going to be fighting Parademons. She's going to be fighting Steppenwolf. And the plan then was to take on Darkseid, and we know how that goes. But, you know, it just brings me back to people being hypocritical with these characters, because maybe they don't like Zack Snyder, maybe they just prefer Marvel, things like that, you know. But this is what I had to say on Twitter. Now, this is the tweet I got a lot of hate for. And I'm not one for always comparing Marvel and DC. I love them both, I like what they do. But in this instance, I just took all the negatives, all the nitpicks people were choosing online yesterday around this Wonder Woman picture, and I put them into one post, and this is what I had to say. I don't know if the hate for Snyder having Wonder Woman behead enemies is because it's an agenda against Snyder in general, or it's looked down upon that a strong female warrior can be this brutal. Marvel, VDC, race, or religion, but it's a picture of a fictional character and it's badass. We're getting annoyed over a fictional character that doesn't cause any destruction on anything, but yeah. So I didn't know which one it was. What was the reason why people were getting so annoyed by the image? Was it got to do with race? Was it got to do with religion? Was it got to do with the old battle of Marvel and DC? Or is it just a hatred for Zack Snyder? Or is it that people are imposed by such a strong female character doing something like this and being brutal and being a warrior, being an Amazonian? Are they actually triggered by that? Does that annoy them? Does that eat away with them that Zack Snyder, our director, would do that with such a powerful character? Because Zack Snyder has been called racist before, making little of religion, making little of women, stuff like that, and that's been proven wrong by his films big time. That's just a false agenda or narrative that people use to go up against Zack Snyder. But that's what I made that post about last night, and I got a lot of hate for it. A lot of people agreed as well, but I just found it very interesting. Of course, a lot of Marvel fanboys took it to heart and thought I was attacking the Thanos beheading by Thor in Endgame, when I wasn't. All I was doing was showing that Thor did it and nobody batted an eyelid. Nobody said shit. And even when I got to see that in theaters, I was applauding the Russo brothers for doing something so different. And people then came at me and said, well, Thor was justified. He lost everything. He needed to kill Thanos. This was a show of weakness for Thor. It's more in character for what Thor is. And I'm like, hold on a second. Thor and Wonder Woman are very different characters, but you're judging one out of context and you're judging another one out of context as well. With Thor, you got a whole arc, a story, a reason to why he did that. And you are saying, that's fine, I understand that. But then you look at an image of Wonder Woman with 3 heads and you're like, nah, that would never happen. That's not my Wonder Woman, she's about love. But you have no context. The Thor from Thor 1 is very different from the Thor in Endgame. So where's the context there that you're using for the Thor character? I understand the arc, I understand the story, and it works perfectly for me. But from my viewpoint, it looks very, very hypocritical. Because you're praising Marvel for doing it. But then you see a picture of Wonder Woman doing it, and you're like, no, that's not the Wonder Woman. Zack Snyder hates women. Zack Snyder doesn't understand Wonder Woman. Zack Snyder is a fraud. But you praise the Russo brothers. So even a post about me trying to show the hypocritical stance, the Marvel fanboys came anyway and said, you don't understand, this was Thor's arc, this is who Thor is, when I wasn't even trying to make a big deal out of the Thor storyline from Endgame. I agreed with the Thor storyline, I understand the Thor storyline. But what I was trying to show people, and they actually proved me right, was that the hypocritical biased standpoint towards Zack Snyder, towards DC, and just hushing it away when Marvel do something pretty similar, you know? So I just found that very, very interesting. I also had this to say as well on the tweet. Yeah, I know, pretty controversial times, guys. Oh, well, look, Zack Snyder's holding my tweet. This was cheered when it happened in Endgame and lamented. What's the big deal if Wonder Woman beheads an enemy in a movie? Thanos killed off half the population. What is Steppenwolf or Darkseid willing to do to get what they want? Everything makes more sense in context. Just wait. And my point is context. We need context for the photo to actually judge it. You know, a trailer comes out, but that's all out of context. You know, we can't really judge the movie until we see the movie in theaters or on Netflix or wherever you want to watch it. You can't judge it. The trailer's just there to try and get you interested, just show you kind of what the tone is going to be. But all those scenes are out of context. So if they don't work in a trailer, they might work in a movie. You know, so that was what my point was about. And the Thor moment in Endgame, when the theater I was in, people were laughing and giggling to it when it was supposed to be a deep, impactful moment. You know, so it's interesting. And I think the difference, but when we see Wonder Woman do this in the Snyderverse, it won't be laughed at. It will actually be a big, impactful moment, or a moment to be like, oh my god, yes. Because Wonder Woman in the Snyderverse does behead somebody, and Zack Snyder has showed us before who she beheads in the third act and near the end of the movie, and what it leads into for Justice League 2. But I just found it very interesting, guys, that the hate was coming in for Zack Snyder. And Patty Jenkins herself came out with an interview, and she was talking about Warner Brothers didn't really want to do her ideas when she was doing Wonder Woman first. Like, nobody wants to see Wonder Woman behead people. And then Zack Snyder finally shows this image of Wonder Woman beheading people, you know, so it's pretty kind of funny how that all turned out. I don't know, maybe Zack Snyder showing people actually do want to see this type of Wonder Woman, this badass Amazonian warrior that maybe he had intended, or maybe that he will show in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So it's going to be interesting to see how different the character is in the Snyder Cut from what she was in Wonder Woman 84, which I think is going to be huge in terms of how she fights and how she carries herself. And no, that's not me shitting on Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman. I love her interpretation of the character. But again, it's a different scriptwriter, a different director. So Zack Snyder is coming in and telling his version of the character, which is pretty cool. You know, so like Andy Muschietti will have Michael Keaton's Batman. That's his kind of interpretation of the character. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see all this play out. But I just wanted to share my viewpoints about that image and about how the hatred towards the image was a bit uncalled for and a bit biased and hypocritical. And I don't care what anyone says, it was hypocritical. And a lot of those quote tweets proved me right in the end. But guys, what did you think of the image? Maybe it's out of character. Look, I'm not saying you can't hate this image or I'm going to come for you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking about some of the viewpoints people had towards the image and their arguments of why Zack Snyder is terrible and why Wonder Woman is terrible and all these things. I just thought their opinion of the picture was a little off. Now you might not like the picture, and that's fine. I understand. You know, but it's a different director, it's a different writer, it's a different interpretation of the character. Let them do their own thing. If you don't like it, watch Wonder Woman 1, watch 84. Wait for the next comic book to come out. You know, that's the mentality I have with these things. If you don't like one, wait for the next one, you know. So it's only a movie, it's only a fictional character, it's not something to get so upset over. But guys, give me a like, subscribe, comment, let me know your thoughts below. I'm interested, I really am. What did you make of all this drama yesterday? Pretty interesting stuff. But also, I think Zack was trending, Diana was trending, there was loads of things trending, and Zack Snyder is the master of trending. He really is. Whenever he talks about something, it usually trends and usually causes a controversy. There's usually articles written about it and all that kind of stuff. But guys, that's what we love, and that's what happened. That's what made the Snyder Cut happen. So guys, Let me know your thoughts. I'm interested as fuck to hear what you have to say about this. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. I'm sure you guys will let me know. But guys, have a good one. Wonder Woman beheads people. Get the fuck over it. It's a movie.